What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now today, I believe I have found the best current wide receiver on the market that the Detroit Lions need to go sign before training camp is over and the Detroit Lions kick off against the Chicago Bears in week 1. Now that wide receiver is Jron Brown, the wide receiver formerly of the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. Now before we do get into talking about Jron and what he can bring to Detroit, first off, if you are new to the channel and are enjoying the content, consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes 2 seconds out of your day to make mine, and I'd be very, very appreciative to everybody that chooses to do so. And while you're at it, go down to the link in the description, go over to my second channel, Right or Wrong Productions, and subscribe to that channel too, as I put out daily highlight videos of Detroit Lions players and the team in general. So if you're interested in that, go check that channel out, as well as I'm trying to grow that up as quickly as possible. But with that being said, let's get into talking about Jron Brown and why he is the best wide receiver on the market right now that the Detroit Lions need to go and sign. Now, Jron Brown is a 30-year-old wide receiver who last year played for the Seattle Seahawks. He was an undrafted free agent after the 2013 NFL Draft and was quickly picked up by the Arizona Cardinals in undrafted free agency. Now, Jron Brown stands at a tall 6'2", 204 pounds. Now, at his Clemson Pro Day, he ran a 4.45 40-yard dash, jumped a 35.5-inch vertical, had a 10-foot 4-inch broad jump, and he put up 17 reps on the bench press. Now, that 40-yard dash is faster than Jerry Jeudy, who was a top 50 pick in this past draft. His vertical jump is higher than both CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, who were both top 20 picks. His broad jump is farther than CeeDee Lamb, who again was a top 20 pick. And his bench press was more than CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, and Henry Ruggs all put up at the combine. So he is a very athletic guy. This guy is big, he's tall, he's fast, he's strong. Like, he is a very, very athletic guy. And I think, we'll get into it a little bit, I think he compares very similarly to Marvin Jones. Last season with the Seattle Seahawks, he had 16 receptions for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns while averaging 13.8 receptions a game. However, he did that while only playing in 34% of the Seattle Seahawks offensive snaps. Now, why should we bring him to Detroit? Well, I mentioned it a minute ago. He reminds me so much of Marvin Jones. From a height, from a size, speed, strength standpoint, Marvin Jones, again, I believe Marvin Jones is 6'2", around 200 pounds, and runs very similar to that. They're both very similarly when comparing them athletically, and when doing the research for this, for his combine results, the website I used for the research actually said that the best comparison for Jron Brown was Marvin Jones. So, obviously, they're very similar guys. Marvin Jones is a current Detroit Lion and current fan favorite and one of the key parts of our offense, and especially the passing attack. Not only does Jron Brown remind me of Marvin Jones from a size and speed standpoint, he reminds me of Marvin Jones from a play type standpoint. Now, Marvin Jones, as we know, is a great contested ball wide receiver. He's big, he's fast, he gets down the field. When Stafford throws it up, more times than not, Marvin Jones is going to come down with it because he's great at winning contested catches. Well, Jron Brown is exactly the same. Jron Brown is a guy that we can use exactly the same as Marvin Jones. We can send him down the field, Stafford throws a 50-yard bomb, and and Jron Brown uses his 6'3" frame to box out the cornerback, box out the safety, and go make a huge play and go make a huge catch. So I think, bringing in a guy that plays very similarly to Marvin Jones is a great thing, because then if Marvin Jones is, if he gets hurt or if he gets tired, he comes off the field, the defense goes, oh, we don't got to worry about Marvin Jones anymore. Jron Brown comes right on the field and does exactly the same thing, and you got to watch out for Jron Brown just as much as Marvin Jones, because they are very, very similar players, and they both produce at very similar rates and do the same things very, very well. Now, another reason that we need to go out and sign Jron Brown is that we just lost Geronimo Allison. Geronimo Allison the other day just opted out of the 2020 NFL season because of the current coronavirus pandemic, so he will not be a member of the Detroit Lions this coming season. So why would the Detroit Lions not want to go out and sign another wide receiver? They clearly felt that it was necessary the first time to go out and get another big body wide receiver that can go win jump balls deep down the field, and that player ended up opting out. Now I think Jron Brown is better than Geronimo Allison. I think he's bigger, I think he's faster, I think he's stronger, and I think he has better hands and is better at catching the football. And, if we went out and we got a big body wide receiver that is supposed to win jump balls like a Geronimo Allison, like we did in the free agency, that guy just opted out. So why would we not go out and get another guy with that exact same skill set to just give Stafford another weapon? Give Stafford that weapon back, another big body wide receiver, and basically just replace Geronimo Allison for this year. Now, Again, as I said, I think he's better than Geronimo Allison. I think Jron Brown is much better. I think he catches better. I think he doesn't drop the ball as much. I think he runs better routes. I think he's just bigger, faster, stronger, and he, I believe, is just an all-around better player than what we would have gotten in Geronimo Allison. Now, moving on to my next point, he's going to be very cheap, right? He's never been the, prime wide receiver. He's never been the number one guy in an offense, and that was the way it was in Arizona. That's the way it was in Seattle, and that's the way it's going to be in Detroit. He's not going to be the number one wide receiver, so we're not going to have to pay him a lot of money. And in fact, I believe if we were to sign him to a contract, the combination of, salary cap we get back from John Atkins, Geronimo Allison, and Russell Bodine all opting out, I believe all that money could just go right into Jron Brown, and we pretty much get him for free for a season because we're just using the salary cap from those three players that opted out to bring in another weapon for Matthew Stafford to have. Now, it seems too perfect, right? We have a guy in Jron Brown who is taller than Marvin Jones, who's heavier than Marvin Jones, has the exact same skill set, is the same exact age, just has a little bit less production because he has been in, pretty solid wide receiving corps. Marvin Jones in Cincinnati was with AJ Green, but he was the second wide receiver in that. Jron Brown has been with the guys like Larry Fitzgerald's and Anquan Boldin's. He's been in Seattle with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Like, he's been behind some very good wide receivers, and that's going to be the way it is in Detroit. But, why would the Detroit Lions not want to bring in a Marvin Jones replica? Literally, the only difference between the two is like an inch in height and the number on the back of the number and name on the back of their jersey. Like, they're very similar players, and I just don't see why the Detroit Lions, knowing that they thought they needed a wide receiver in free agency, why they wouldn't go out and get a pretty much Marvin Jones replica to, not only come in when Marvin Jones gets tired, but also come in if Marvin Jones isn't able to finish out the season again, because we know the last couple of seasons he's had some injury concerns. Now, there's only one con that I could find, and that's the fact that he hasn't produced a lot in the NFL. I believe his career high is only 33 receptions, his career high in receiving yards is only 477, and his career high in touchdowns is only 5. So, you look at those numbers, and those are all career highs after 7 years in the NFL, and you think, he's not good. He's not been producing a lot. But like I said, he's never been the focal point of an offense. He's never been the Megatron. He's never been the AJ Green. He's never been the Larry Fitzgerald, the Anquan Boldin, the DK Metcalf, the Tyler Lockett, the guy that, the guy that his quarterback looks at first, the guy that, is the first rate on every play because he has the potential to, make everything, or he has the opportunity to get you a touchdown on every play. He's never been that guy, but again, he doesn't have to be that guy in Detroit. He doesn't have to be a Megatron. He does not have to be a Kenny Galladay. He doesn't even have to be Marvin Jones. All he has to do is, be solid depth. He's not going to play a lot. I would take that kind of production from his 2019 season, right? If we bring in a guy on a very cheap deal and he wins you 50-50 balls down the field and even gets 220 yards and 2 touchdowns to help your team, if we bring in a guy that averages 13.8 yards a reception, like, that is money well spent, and that is a fantastic wide receiver to bring in, and that just stacks up our wide receiver core even more. And our wide receiver core is one of the most stacked in the NFL, I believe, with Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, Quintez Cephas. We had Geronimo Allison. So if we just bring in Jron Brown, we're basically replacing Geronimo Allison on that list, and our wide receiver core gets better from there. Like, there just are not a lot of cons to bringing in Jron Brown. I mean, I've said it a couple times. He's a Marvin Jones clone. And as soon, Marvin Jones, we know, produces with the Detroit Lions. He's been on pace for 1,000 yards in every season he's been here pretty much. So if we can bring in a replacement to that, basically, we'll never have to take Marvin Jones off the field, because as soon as we take him off, we'll put Jron Brown right there on the field, and it'll be the exact same thing. We can run the exact same plays, the exact same scheme. We can send Jron on the exact same routes, and he's going to produce exactly the same. So, that's my opinion. I found Jron Brown, and I love this pickup. If we were to pick him up right now, I would say this is one of the most underrated picks in the free agency period. Now, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you guys think we should go out and sign Jron Brown to replace a guy like Geronimo Allison and bring him in to be our wide receiver 4? Let me know that down in the comments down below. But with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. If there is Lions news before tomorrow, I'll obviously make a video letting every single person know. But if there is no Lions news, that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said, make sure you put down in the comments below whether or not you would pick up Jron Brown to be our wide receiver 4. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. I will see all of you tomorrow unless there is Lions news before at the end of the day. But with that being said, that's all I got for you guys right now. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.